Well, let's look more at that family of 12. There are 3 sisters and their 9 children, all aged between 3 and 15 years old. The youngest mother, Khadija Bibi Dawood, has 2 children, Mohammed Hasib and Mariam Siddiqui, aged 5 and 7. The oldest sister, Sugra Dawood, has 5 children. They're 15-year-old Junaid Ahmed Iqbal, 14-year-old Ibrahim Iqbal and 8-year-old Zainab Iqbal, 5-year-old Maria Iqbal and the youngest of the group, 3-year-old Ismail Iqbal. The last sister is Zahara. She has 2 children, 5-year-old Noura Binte Zubair and 8-year-old Binte Zubair, but it's believed they didn't travel to Syria and could still be in Saudi Arabia. Well, I'm joined from Bradford by Zahed Amanullah, Senior Programme Manager for the Institute for Strategic Dialogue. And very good afternoon to you. So are you working on the theory that they have gone to Syria, first of all?
Well, first of all, this is a very, very not so unusual case in the sense that we've seen family members exert tremendous influence on their own other family members when grooming them to go to join ISIS in Syria. So this is not the first time this kind of thing has happened. What we haven't looked at is how the people involved got recruited in the first place. We're dealing with a very sophisticated recruitment strategy that ISIS puts together, and what we haven't done is we haven't interfered with that strategy or pushed back against that propaganda as much as we should. So until we do that, this phenomenon is likely to continue.
Yeah, well, in this case, I mean, there are reports that their brother is fighting in Syria, so that could be one of the links that needs looking at.
Absolutely, and this is the thing. You know, until we can make sure that these people are prohibited from seeing the propaganda, we know that we have takedowns going on in social media to make sure that propaganda doesn't reach them. But the recruitment is very, very, very sophisticated, and once they are indoctrinated and they can perpetuate this propaganda onto their family members, again, it's going to continue.
So you become radicalised, but then, I mean, at issue here, again, so many questions need answering, is how do other family members and relatives not notice that change?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, in particular, the fathers here, questions about noticing the route to radicalisation.
Well, I mean, the fathers, I mean, they're in the dark because, you know, when people are groomed to join ISIS, they're instructed to keep their intentions secret. So it's not a surprise that these fathers don't know what's happened to their children. You know, the sisters who have been persuaded to go, and we're not sure if they're in Syria yet, but we know that they've fled. You know, they've been instructed to keep their plans secret. So looking for signs for radicalization is not always as easy as it seems.
Indeed. Well, given that, I mean, what can society do about it?
Well, there's a lot of things. I mean, everyone has a part to play in this. I mean, the main thing is, you know, the extremists are exploiting our internet technologies to recruit people, and we have done very little to counter that. We know that there are credible voices out there that can push back against this. The fathers of these children, for example, are former extremists, but they don't have the tools, the resources, the networks to actually put their messages out there in the space where people are being recruited, and that's the real challenge that we have to face. I mean, it's not a Bradford problem, it's not a Dewsbury problem, this is a national problem, it's a global problem, and it starts with that recruitment. That's why the phenomenon has grown so much in recent years. Until we address that phenomenon, again, this is going to continue.
But a lot of people are asking, you know, how can the picture, the attractions of life under Islamic State be portrayed in a positive light? I mean, the overall portrayal, particularly when it comes to the treatment of women, is that you will have a pretty difficult life, to say the least.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is how sophisticated the propaganda is. I mean, we all know, and the people who have gone recently from Talal al-Sam, you know, who killed himself the other day, they all went after knowing about the burning of the Jordanian pilot, the executions of Alan Henning and David Haynes. They know what's going on there, and yet they still go because ISIS can contextualize what they do in a way that still resonates with them. For the women that go, they know they have a place there because that's the way it's sold to them. I mean, they may not be going to fight, but because these people went with their children, they're clearly going because ISIS feels that they're the foundations for a new state, and that resonates with them for some reason, and we have to make sure that it doesn't resonate with other people here.
Interesting talking to you, Mr. Amanullah. Thank you very much indeed. Zahed Amanullah, Senior Programme Manager for the Institute for Strategic Dialogue.